I watched as a little boy casually picked up an old, worn-out axe and gently swung it toward an old tree. The next second, the massive tree split cleanly in two. The master blacksmith watching nearby widened his eyes in disbelief. He immediately drew his personally forged, blood-refined sacred weapon and struck it against the boy's axe. To everyone's shock, the sacred weapon shattered in half from the rebound force. The whole scene fell silent. The senior apprentice stared at the broken blade on the ground, stunned. Her instincts told her that this humble village must be hiding a true forging master. What she didn't know was that the owner of that axe was me, once known across the world as the greatest blade master alive. After years of war and bloodshed, I grew tired of power and politics, so I erased my name from history and chose to live in seclusion in this peaceful, forgotten mountain village. Now, I no longer forge divine weapons, but craft tools for farmers, hoes, plows, and sickles, just to make life a little easier for the common people. As for that extraordinary axe, it was nothing more than a failed piece I had casually tossed aside. After delivering a shipment of iron ore, I rushed to the mountain estate to bring materials to my wife, who was training in smithing. I never imagined that this small errand would ignite a storm across the entire forging world. At that moment, the furnace blazed fiercely. My wife and her senior brother were hard at work. As I approached, she frowned and spoke coldly, telling me not to disturb her during training. She dismissed me, saying all I knew was how to forge farm tools, that I didn't understand the true art of forging. Even the youngest apprentice mocked me with sneers. I simply smiled and walked to a corner, quietly sorting the ore into high, medium, and low grades. My father-in-law saw what I did and was speechless with shock. The ores all looked nearly identical, yet I could sort them accurately with my eyes closed. He finally realized I was no ordinary blacksmith and urged me to stay, saying I belonged here, not at a farmer's anvil. But I gently refused. To me, forging tools that help farmers feed their families is far more meaningful than fighting for titles and fame at the estate. As I turned to leave, I paused and glanced at the sword embryo in the furnace. I said calmly, "The material is too cold in nature. If you use high flames to temper it, it'll explode." The senior brother laughed dismissively. In his mind, forging had always required high heat. He tossed the sword into the flames. Just as he began to boast, the blade burst apart. The room fell into stunned silence. Before anyone could react, a group of outsiders stormed in. Seeing the shattered sword on the floor, they immediately demanded compensation. It turned out to be a setup. They had purposely hidden the material's properties to make us fail and force the estate to surrender the mountain mines. But those mines are the villagers' lifeline. If we lose them, the people lose everything. Their lead apprentice proposed a forging duel. Whoever could forge the strongest weapon from the same ore would win the mine. My father-in-law accepted. The opponent brought out a special testing stone, saying both sides would choose 3 smiths each. Whoever's blades could cut through the most test stones would be the winner. The challenge began, but we didn't even have 3 people ready. In desperation, my father-in-law asked me to join. Immediately, the others objected. To them, I was just a village blacksmith, not worthy of the forge. Even my wife came over and begged her father not to let me embarrass them. Left with no choice, he